Abbey Creek School, a brick one-room schoolhouse, stands just 1 mile west of Mount Vernon, Iowa, on Mount Vernon Road along the old Lincoln Highway. The school was built on William Abbey's land he claimed in 1836. Abbey is considered one of the first white settlers of Lynn County. He was friendly with local native tribes, hunting and trapping with them. He even learned how to speak the Winnebago language, which his children also learned. It is believed that Abbey's first wife, Olive, is buried in the area that became the community's cemetery, which is adjacent to the school. The current brick building was built around 1856, but may not have been in use until 1858. The soft bricks of the building were made at the locally operated Port Stotler brickyard, and the original foundation was made of limestone from that area. It is situated by a fresh spring that fed Abbe Creek and provided water to the students during the school hours. The original tiling for the spring survives at the site today, along with a storm cellar that was used by the students during inclement weather. The school played a major part in the lives of the folks in the surrounding rural areas. During the weekdays, the building was used for schooling, and on Sundays, it was used for church services. Other organizations also used the building for meetings. One such meeting gained notoriety when a visit from Reverend Winton of Texas got out of hand. The Knights of the Golden Circle arranged for Reverend Winton to give a sermon at the school, wherein he used the Bible to support slaveholders' rights. The Knights of the Golden Circle was an organization that supported the South during the Civil War and wished the seceded Southern states would join the areas of Central America to become its own ruling body, which would continue to use slave labor. The meeting devolved into an all-out heated, edging toward violent, debate between abolitionists and the area's Democratic Copperheads. Copperheads were individuals who were in opposition to the Civil War and sympathized with the southern slave-holding states. Only when Henry Kepler, one of the original founders of the school, spoke up against Reverend Winton and his beliefs did the crowd settle. In addition to providing space for important area meetings, the school served the area's children's educational needs. Children could begin attending school at age 4 when they weren't needed for farm work. The school provided education to the local children till they reached the 8th grade. In fact, children who had taken and passed their 8th grade exams were allowed to carve their names into the bricks of the school. The school building was moved from its original location to its current location in 1925 when the Lincoln Highway was being paved and graded. At that time, a cement foundation was poured for the building on which it sits today. The school remained operational until 1936, serving the area for 92 years. 78 of those years in the current brick building. After the school closed, it was auctioned off and turned into a private home. In 1963, the property and land were given to the Lynn County Conservation Board. The board restored the schoolhouse to its original finishings and opened a museum in 1964. Original books, slates, lunch buckets, and other materials used in the 1800s were donated by area residents and the Abbey Creek Questers. These items are currently at the Lynn County History Center. During the opening day ceremony of the museum in 1964, several teachers who taught at the school visited the building. The Abbey Creek School is open for public visits Sunday afternoons from 1 to 5 p.m. in June, July, and August. School groups, youth groups, and other interested parties can contact Lynn County Conservation for visits outside of these hours. Five miles outside of Washington, Iowa, off State Highway 1, there's another of Iowa's many one-room schoolhouses. This white wood frame structure was used by the area's children from 1863 until 1959. What is special about this site is that it houses one of two historical pony barns in Iowa. The pony barn could house up to 1 horse and 3 ponies at a time and was lovingly restored in 2000. The site also houses original privies for both boys and girls, a merry-go-round, flagpole, and water pump. The well for the water pump was dug in 1899, but up to that point, students fetched water from a creek nearby. On one such occasion, when students were made to go get water, a rattlesnake was found inside a tree. The teacher asked if the tree could be burned down to protect the school's students. While the tree was burning, several more rattlesnakes were found inside. The earliest records of the schoolhouse date back to 1858, when the school was housed in a log cabin. The land and the schoolhouse were eventually bought by Memorial F. Miller, who was a native of Kentucky. The Walnut Schoolhouse was known as the Memorial Miller Schoolhouse long after Miller's death in 1888. The name was later changed when the Washington County Historical Society purchased it in 1963. Memorial Miller was well known as a Copperhead during the Civil War. In fact, the schoolhouse and surrounding land were used as a recruitment center and training grounds for Confederate sympathizers during that time. In addition to this role, the school has hosted many social gatherings that enriched the lives of those in the rural area. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, it was a busy place for all sorts of meetings, including a few well-established and well-remembered literary societies. One of the societies published a small newspaper called Verdi Illuminator. The area's love of books is also evident because it was recorded in 1941 that there were nearly 400 books in the school's collection. The Walnut Women's Club, which organized talks, recipe swaps, and luncheons, began meeting in the schoolhouse in 1921. The club continues to meet and help maintain the schoolhouse to this day. In the spring of 1959, the Walnut School closed its doors and was auctioned off by the county. Many of Iowa's one-room schoolhouses, like Walnut and Abbey Creek, closed in the 1950s due to state legislation. The state mandated that school districts would need to provide education from kindergarten through 12th grade. One-room schoolhouses essentially functioned as their own school district. Many of these rural schools only provided education until 8th grade. The rural schoolhouses were closed and consolidated into school districts in order to meet the state's requirements. Eventually, the state of Iowa required all rural public schools to close and be consolidated into a nearby district by June of 1966. In 1963, the Walnut School became the property of Washington County Historical Society. It remained a popular place to gather, hosting the local 4-H clubs as well as weddings. From time to time, the schoolhouse is open to the public, but it does not maintain regular visiting hours. Two miles north of Solon, Iowa, along Highway 1, is Johnson County's oldest schoolhouse, Stone Academy, or Big Grove Township School No. 1. The little one-room schoolhouse is believed to have been founded in 1842, 4 years after the Iowa Territory was opened to settlers and 4 years before Iowa gained statehood. It is believed that these settlers, who were part of an enormous influx of nearly 1,000 people in 1840, were responsible for the building's construction. The school is said to have been erected before surveyors could stake the path of the old military road from Dubuque to Iowa City, now Highway 1. It's rumored the surveyor peg was actually found under the school's old foundation when it was replaced, which might explain the curve in the road, which still remains today. Unlike most other one-room schoolhouses, Stone Academy is built out of limestone instead of the traditional wood or brick. The limestone was taken from the McCune Quarry on the Cedar River near Sutliff, about 2 miles north of the school. Students, both children and men and women in their 20s, were educated at Stone Academy in reading, spelling, writing, and arithmetic. When the school closed in 1952, only 9 students were enrolled. In 1954, the Solon Community School District auctioned off 14 schools in the area. The Stone Academy building was spared from the auction when Dr. William J. Peterson, the superintendent of the Johnson County Historical Society, intervened. The school remained the property of the Solon School District and was occasionally used as an off-campus educational site. Stone Academy fell into disrepair, however, when in 1978 it was hit by a tornado. The newly replaced roof of the school was ripped off of the top of the building, and damage was sustained to the school's walls. The building was in such terrible shape that in 1986 it was scheduled for demolition. Locals joined forces and founded the Stone Academy Foundation to restore the building. Eddie Olch, who attended the school, and his wife Rose, oversaw much of the building's restoration that can be seen today. The interior of the school is fashioned after what it would have looked like in the 1930s, with a potbelly stove, teacher and student desks from the era, along with maps and the building's original blackboard. Stone Academy is still owned by the Solon School District and was added to the National Register of Historic Places in January of 2001. Tours to see the museum are made by appointment only.